What's good, you guys? It's your girl Naya Thryce here, and it is June 1st, 2018. I'm sitting outside in this interesting weather. It's kind of cool, even though it's June. I'm not complaining. It's like warm, cool, like it's comfy. And you're probably like, why in the hell you wearing a sweater? Because they keep it cold up in the building that I be sitting at. But anyways, I should have brought my tarot cards because I'm trying to figure out like how do I want to do my readings, right? I can pull in the astrology for the month, and just a general outlook type of deal. Like, for example, Jupiter is still gonna be in, so like let's talk about the outer planets for a second. You know what, we're just gonna do a weekly chit chat talk, and as things come up, y'all learn with me, I'll teach you, we learn from each other, and we'll just vibe, right? So anyways, so let's talk about the outer planets. The outer planets, typically when we're talking about Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, we are talking about generational planets. We're talking about the collective unconscious, the collective experience. So, for example, we recently had Uranus move into the sign of Taurus. It changed signs, and the cycle for the orbital cycle for Uranus is roughly 8 years or something like that. So these outer planets changing signs is actually a big deal because what is this new energy? So I was thinking and contemplating in my cosmic contemplations, and I was asking myself, I said, looking out for things that could be potentially Uranus, revolution, technology, kind of where things get shaken up, or an unusual approach occurs. And then you have your sign of Taurus, which is really stable. It's about material possessions, it's about personal resources and how you place value on yourself. And so, I started thinking like, okay, well, what does Uranus and Taurus mean? Does this mean, like, basically we have the whole cryptocurrency thing, right? I'm not very well versed in it. It's brand new. It's kind of a radical Uranus idea, right? And I'm like, okay, could it be profitable? Sure. Could it go the other way? Sure. That's the thing about Uranus, right? We don't know. It's so unstable. It's so unpredictable, rather. And I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's so unpredictable. We just don't know which way the pendulum is going to swing. And so I've been trying to look out for themes. So what I've come to observe as of recently, which is why I haven't done a video on Uranus and Taurus yet, what I've observed recently is a shift away from materialism. There's a lot of people I know who are giving up their creature comforts, Taurus, for something more meaningful to them, in terms of where they may be able to be a little bit more humanitarian, be a little bit more within their higher consciousness, and not be bogged down by material possessions. And it's nothing against, I'm just riffing over here. Because even me, I was like, okay, I've been, all right, I have my tarot deck collection. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't want my channel to just be unboxings. I don't want it to just be, flip throughs and reviews of decks, even though I love doing that. But just because I do a review of a deck, doesn't mean I need to hold on to it. Doesn't mean I need to keep it forever. No. But of course, in my brain, I'm like, but I reviewed it. I need to keep it because I need to, Anyways, for whatever reason, I'm like, no, I am not getting a bigger bookshelf. And as a matter of fact, I want to start whittling down my decks to have a comfortable collection versus an overly extensive one, because replace it. It's easier to save a smaller stash than a larger stash. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I'm very much like wanting to prepare for the worst, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Like that's some words to live by for me. And so anyway, so that's me. And it really just kind of came out of nowhere. It wasn't like I was thinking about it, because really in the back of my head, I'm looking at decks. I'm like, ooh, that one looks really cool. And that one looks like it would read really well, blah, blah, blah. But as I'm doing that, I'm thinking about, okay, well, which decks do I have that don't serve me, that I thought I might have had that intuitive hit with, but I can't really read with them, or whatever the case is. That's me on a personal level, speaking of Uranus and Taurus. But I've seen some other situations where people are getting rid of their personal stash, getting rid of, like I said, their creature comforts, and trying to doing things really much more for the experience, much more for, I'm not even sure what the correct terminology is, because each of these people, of course, they walk different lives, different paths, and there's, like I said, there's no judgment or anything like that. It's more of just an observation, where it almost kind of came so suddenly, like, oh snap, this person is doing what now? Wait a minute. You know what I mean? I was so used to this person doing things this way, and all of a sudden they're stripping that away. They're stripping away this layer around them that may have been built up, that they may not have realized was built up, or you may not have realized that was built up. But then they're stripping away all of these kind of material things that they may perhaps be known for, even for themselves, and in search of something that requires a little bit more solitude, a little bit more, almost like it's like this, when you minimize clutter, right? And this is perfect too, because we just finished having the full moon, so now the moon is waning, right? People are letting go of things. When you have less clutter, it's less to clean up. Number one, this works in the material realm, in the flesh. This works in the mental realm. Having a messy, like, computer, for example, like your desktop with icons everywhere, and the moment that you take time to, like, clean that all up, it's like you feel like you can breathe. You feel like you can be more productive. You have less things distracting you. And I feel that this Uranus and Taurus is almost pulling on this idea. And it's not just material. Like I said, this is yes, it's material things, but it's also about your resources, your self-worth. And so, let's think about emotional baggage. Emotional baggage is something that can be very much applied to how you feel about yourself, how your self-worth is idealized in your own life, right? What emotional baggage are you holding on to that you no longer need to hold on to? What is weighing you down? What can you release? So there's been people who have done this that I've noticed since this transit has started, that they've released a lot of emotional burdens that they've actually self-inflicted, not that they were necessarily obligated to do. So so it's been really interesting in that regard, because a lot of people think Taurus is just material things, and there's so much there's a little bit more of a deeper kind of idea that can manifest from it. Okay, so there's that. So that's kind of my little, like, spiel on the Uranus and Taurus thing. Like I said, I mean, a lot of it has been mostly material, people giving up their creature comforts, but there's also been the emotional release of emotional release of things in their life that they're not responsible for to hold on to. That stubbornness of Taurus, of holding on to things to plow through it, you know, is very much a thing. Of course, this transit is a long transit, so this is just my beginning observations of it. You know, so think about that. You know, is there people in your life that you've had to, you know, let go of? Are there things in your life that you've been considering letting go of? You know, selling your house, giving up a collection, whatever it may be. I think it's not only because, like I said, these themes are not only because of the full moon and the fact that the moon is waning right now, but the fact this has been occurring since the transit of Uranus and Taurus. So I did mean to bring my tarot deck with me, but I totally didn't, because I thought I was going to get rained on and I don't want my cards to get wet. So I'm just kicking astrology to you right now because I need to stay on top of this this channel here. So yeah, so what does, you know, leave a comment below. Let me know, you know, what have you noticed recently? Have you noticed any kind of jarring changes in some of your community, some of your, you know, in your circles, your friends, randomly moving, randomly doing something that has to do with that sense of personal growth through the release of material possessions or emotional burdens? Let me know what you think, what you've been observing. I'm curious. You know, I can't do the astrology thing alone. We need to observe everything. And so even hearing from you guys would help me see, you know, maybe even a bigger picture, as I've been trying to kind of keep my nose down and kind of focus on working these astrology videos. So all right, I'm gonna leave this video here. Thanks for listening to me rant about Uranus in Taurus and the waning moon right now. I hope you have a good month. I'll be back for some more videos. Much love, many blessings. Peace.